Okay, today we're making probably one of my favorite cake combinations of all time, a super soft and moist lemon blueberry cake. This cake is full of zesty lemon flavor and has the most wonderful contrast with sweet and juicy blueberries. So before you start on the cake batter, you want to preheat your oven to 180°C or 350°F. Remember to reduce the temperature if you're using a convection oven, and grease and line 2 8-inch cake tins. I'm using my homemade cake release to grease my tins, and for this recipe you do need to line the bottoms of your pans because the blueberries do tend to stick to the bottoms. Okay, set these cake tins aside for now, and next we're going to sift together our dry ingredients. So I've got 295 grams or 2 1/3 cups of plain all-purpose flour, 30 grams or 1/4 cup of cornstarch, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and half a teaspoon of salt. Once that's all sifted together, then just use a whisk or fork to give that a good mix, and then just set it aside for now. Now next, in a large bowl, you just want to add in 86 grams or 6 tablespoons of room temperature unsalted butter, 141 grams or 3/4 cup of unflavoured vegetable oil, I like to use canola oil, 333 grams or 1 2/3 cups of white granulated sugar, and 2.5 tablespoons of lemon zest, which is about the zest of 2 medium-sized lemons. I would recommend using a tablespoon to measure it out though, just to make sure that you're not adding too much or too little. Now when you're zesting lemons, you just want to make sure that you're only removing the very top yellow part of the lemon and not going down to the white part, because the white part is bitter and you don't want a bitter cake. And then you just want to use either a hand or stand mixer on a medium speed and cream that together for 3 minutes until it's light and creamy. By adding in the lemon zest during this creaming stage, it's going to help release more of the flavor from the lemon zest. Next, you want to add in 3 large room temperature eggs one at a time on a low speed, mixing well in between each addition. It's super important that your eggs are at room temperature, otherwise they're not going to combine properly with the other ingredients. Okay, now once that's done, then next you want to add in 26 grams or 2 tablespoons of room temperature milk, 185 grams or 3/4 cup of room temperature yogurt. Greek or regular yogurt will both work fine, though I do prefer to use regular yogurt for this recipe. And then you also want to add in 55 grams or 1/4 cup of freshly squeezed lemon juice. And then once that's done, just give that all a good mix on a medium speed until well combined. Now you're just going to get all of the batter off of the attachments, because the rest of the mixing we're going to be doing by hand with a spatula. So first you want to add in your pre-mixed dry ingredients from earlier and fold that in with a spatula until just combined. You don't want to overmix it, so just mix until you can't see any more unmixed flour and everything seems to be, evenly mixed. Then to finish off, you want to toss 250 grams or 1.5 cups of fresh blueberries in a tablespoon of flour. And this is just going to help prevent them from sinking to the bottom of the cake layers. And then you just want to add the blueberries to the batter, discarding any leftover flour, and then you just want to fold them in with a spatula until just combined. Again, try not to overmix it. Now you can use frozen blueberries for this recipe too, but just make sure that you don't let them thaw before adding them to the batter, and you will most likely need to bake your cake for a little bit longer. Okay, so that is our batter done, and now you just want to evenly distribute this into our 2 pre-prepared cake tins from earlier. Once all the batter is in, you just want to level out the tops, and then I also like to weigh my cake tins just to make sure that they're roughly about the same. And then you just want to drop the cake tins lightly on the counter to remove any large air bubbles. And now these are going to go into the oven for 35 to 40 minutes, or until a toothpick comes out clean with a few moist crumbs on it. So my cake layers have finished baking up now. They smell incredible. They've been cooling in the cake tins for about 20 minutes, and now I'm just running a thin knife around the edges to release the cakes from the cake tins, and then I'm just turning them out onto a wire rack to completely cool. Now trust me when I say that these cake layers are on another level of soft and moist. You guys are just gonna absolutely love them. Now we just need these cake layers to come to room temperature before we frost them with our frosting that we're gonna make next, a super easy cream cheese buttercream. So to a large bowl, you want to add in 225 grams or 1 cup of room temperature unsalted butter, and using a hand or stand mixer on a medium to high speed, cream the butter for a few minutes until it's light and fluffy. If you're using a stand mixer, then you want to use the paddle attachment. Next, you want to add in 570 grams or 4.5 cups of powdered sugar in 3 batches while mixing on a low speed, just to make sure that it doesn't go everywhere. And then you just want to make sure that each batch is mixed in well before adding in the next. Now, I know this may seem like a lot of powdered sugar, but trust me, this frosting isn't overly sweet, and powdered sugar isn't as sweet as regular granulated sugar. Now, once all the powdered sugar is in, then next you want to add in 335 grams or 1.5 cups of cold cream cheese. Make sure that you're using like a firm cream cheese, as well as 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla and 1.5 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice. And then you just want to mix that in on a medium speed until everything is well combined and the frosting is smooth. Now, once it's smooth, you just want to stop mixing there, because the more you mix, the softer your frosting is going to become. Okay, and that is basically our super delicious cream cheese frosting all done. So my cake layers are completely cool now, which means that we can start stacking this cake. Now, the cake layers are already quite flat, so I'm not going to level the tops. So I'm just placing my first cake layer directly onto my cake stand and then spreading out a generous amount of my cream cheese frosting on the top. I'm then placing my next cake layer on top and spreading out a generous amount of the cream cheese frosting on the top and sides of the cake so that it's completely covered. I'm then using my cake scraper to smooth out the edges, and then I'm also using my offset spatula to bring that top lip of frosting into the middle of the cake so that my edges are nice and smooth. Now, to finish off, I'm just popping some of my frosting into a piping bag with a 1A large round piping tip on it, and then I'm just doing some piping around the top edges of the cake. Now, you can go ahead and add some extra blueberries on the top or the sides, but apart from that, that is my lemon and blueberry cake all done. This cake is honestly bursting with both lemon and blueberry flavor, and the crumb is just like on another level of soft. It like literally melts in your mouth. Oh, it's so soft. You just cannot go wrong with the lemon and blueberry combo. It's just too good. It's honestly just like an explosion of flavor in your mouth, and that cream cheese frosting just complements the lemon and blueberry cake so well. Just too good. So that is it for today, guys. If you do decide to give this lemon blueberry cake a go, then please do leave a review on my blog. It really helps my content out, and I absolutely love hearing from you guys. I'll see you in the next video.